death penalty.
Okay. So, well, death seems to be a very touchy topic for people, and especially on the death penalty. Um, Most people are indifferent about it because, you know, they feel as though it's undeserved for those people. But what are your thoughts?
I'm not sure in the United States we can use the death penalty because the length of time between a decision being made and it being executed is so prolonged. I'm divided on it. I think it's appropriate to have a death penalty. It has to be a terrible crime, really terrible, not the normal type terrible. But when somebody chooses, for instance, to fly an airplane into the federal building and kills children, I think it's appropriate that that person faces a death penalty. That's not a normal type of crime, but it's one in which, yes, it's appropriate. And I would prefer it to be quicker, sooner rather than later, even though in terms of society, we're fighting our prejudices, which is a different issue. But in terms of either the death penalty works or it doesn't, I could live with either. But if we're going to have it, do it quickly.
So, Donald Trump is most well known for wanting to put up a wall or a border between us and Mexico. What are your thoughts on illegal immigration and legal immigration?
I don't think that's a terribly good question. The question we're facing in the United States is since the 1980s, over the course of this last generation, we have over 10 million undocumented people. The estimates vary, and their children. And Donald Trump is talking about that group rather than a question of somebody on a ship coming from China and landing at Cambria in the middle of the night. Okay? And that to me is a slightly different issue if I was going to be concerned over the borders and border security. So the question is, what do we do with the 10 to 20 million people in the United States who cannot readily be citizens? Okay? And I don't see where, with those type of numbers, that anything we do that doesn't allow for them to continue living and find a way to become citizens makes any sense. I reject Mr. Trump's particular call, okay, in total. And that includes, he was asked, what do we do with the children? That is, people born in the United States under the 14th Amendment, citizens of the United States and the states in which they reside. And he would like to see them deported and not allowed back, is what Mr. Rubio said. In both instances, I'm quite horrified. I don't see how you can have a democracy. There's no way you're going to move 20 million people without enormous unfairness, disruption, lack of justice, and morality.
Thank you for that. And our next topic is on the phrase "under God" in the Pledge of Allegiance.
It's there.
It's there.
Been there.
It's been there since
Doesn't do any harm.
1950.
Not worth a lot. Not worth talking about.
Why is that?
Because it hasn't done any harm. People go around breathing, living without any difficulty. It's just an expression. It's not a, it's nothing. As I understand it, if one was had religious reasons that they were opposed to it, they can be excused from doing so. But it's awkward in a situation if you're a child ever being signaled out, certainly to single yourself out as being different than everybody else in the classroom. Those are the kinds of social pressures. Overall, this is not a significant question to me. Yeah, you can ask.
What are your feelings on Donald Trump's statement about the Muslim travel ban?
What's that?
About the Muslim travel ban for like refugees to come over to America?
I don't understand this point. I,
Um,
I, I really don't understand this point. To say we're not going to allow Muslims into without some sort of extra additional effort and extraordinary effort to check them and see who they are is just is a nonsense statement appealing to hate, fear. It just it's a non-productive statement. It's really hateful. You understand? He just singled out at least 1 out of 7 persons on the Earth's surface and saying somehow you're different and I'm going to treat you differently. And that to all you can do is get people angry. I guarantee you.
and in your opinion, does that create radicals?
Oh, whether it's whether per se it's such a high-profile thing, it might, as compared to other forms of discrimination. This is a guy who's running for president of the United States, for God's sake. He's not you. He's not me. He's not having a cup of coffee over at Denny's.
Every morning.
This is a guy who says he wishes to be the leader of what has been traditionally the free world. All men are created equal.
And in relation, what about the Muslim travel ban that he proposed?
It's stupid.
It's stupid.
Yeah, that's all.
So I'd like to back up because you said all men are created equal.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?